Is anyone still in here? Oh, there you are. I was expecting to meet you out there at the gala. Any reason in particular why you're in here? Well, I'm assuming that when choosing between a gala for all the graduating students and all the staff, you'd be present too. But you're still in the library, tending to your collection. It's almost as if you'd rather not have the party at all. Really? You're ordering shipments and sorting the books that were turned in right now? It's, what, 9 in the evening? There's music and a crowd and everyone is dancing and having fun and you're sorting books. You know, the students think you're very mysterious. Have you heard what they're doing? They're writing about you. Fiction. I encourage it because, well, it's good practice in writing and language use, and it allows me to fantasize. They write all sorts of things. Each student gets a turn per chapter, apparently. They all have a different idea of what you do in your free time. One of them writes that there's something mystical about this library. Some magical secret that you've been tasked to guard. Another says you're really a spy, sent to make sure that nobody here threatens the established order. I think the reason why they write is simple. Although, I might be wrong. Well, every time I come here, and presumably every time the students come here too, you're stalking around the library. Quiet, calm, sometimes even avoiding people. I don't think I've ever seen you on your break time, or heard anything about what you do when you go home. It's almost as if you only exist in here. No. I'd say it makes you intriguing more than creepy. But that is an opinion, so others might disagree. But I don't think anything bad about you. I've actually been trying to get a bit closer to you, if you haven't noticed. I figured you hadn't. I've been spending a lot of my breaks between giving lectures here in the past year. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you thought I was just here to read on my breaks. Didn't you? Yeah, I have been reading a lot more, but not the books I was interested in myself. Or, well, more specifically, not the books I would have been interested in on my own. Because there was a very handsome librarian that I could see reading certain blurbs on occasion, or treating a book with a little bit more care and attention than the other ones. So, I grabbed those books, read their blurbs, and then started reading the books themselves. It made me feel like I was getting to know you through your preferences. One of them even became my favorite book. Well, became one of my favorite books. I'm not sure if it's the one you're thinking of. It was a short novel. Very romantic. Let me remember what it's about. I think it started by describing a day in the life of this librarian character. And then a day in the life of this CEO woman. She was very forthcoming. I was honestly surprised that a book like that would be in an academy library. You'd expect for it to be at home, beneath someone's bed, hidden like it's a shameful secret of some kind. I mean, it's not really. We all have our needs. Some people use some less than respected sites, and others like a good story instead. But it did get me wondering, what's your favorite book? Well, the reason I want to know is that I want to know you. And to get to know you, I need to know what matters to you. And since you work in a library and spend your whole day taking care of books of your own volition, I'm thinking these books matter to you. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm a nerd too, underneath this dress and professional nature. Oh, absolutely. You don't become a professor for no reason. Some people do it because they love the children. Others because they want to make sure the future is secure. At least for a few kids. And, well, as for me, I'm a nerd who couldn't stop reading and learning about the things I love. Deal. Well, I'll go first, I suppose. My personal favorite book of all time is... Can I choose one per genre or just a single one? A single book. Not even a series. I do think that it'd probably be... The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's a very close call, but something about its particularly violently beautiful and beautifully violent take on immortality simply feels right. Dorian feels like he's alive. Alive yet living a constant death throughout the book. Not a death of the body, but a death of the soul. Morality, kindness, empathy. They're like the young, important, but oh so vulnerable branches of a tree that is slowly dying. Each page you flip bringing you closer to the tree's inevitable rotting core. Until you can truly see just how dead it is inside. But now your turn. I don't think I've ever heard of it. But I could be mistaken. If you'd like to describe the story to me, I wouldn't mind for even a single moment. What can I say? I'm a curious woman. I'm a curious woman. Especially when it's about you. And... No. I shouldn't say it. Well, it's just... something about you being right here in this library. Always so close. It just makes me feel like a dangerous woman. Like a woman who can't be trusted with the power she has. If that makes any sense at all. Well, think about it this way. If you were a child and you lived above a candy shop, wouldn't that make you feel untrustworthy in a way? Like every day you have to go past the shelves full of sweets, chocolates, and all the things you long for. Obviously, under conditions like that, you start fantasizing about just taking a few candies. Nobody has to know, right? Just one or two. It's probably not the most elegant metaphor, but it does ring true. I come here every day, every single day to do all these things, but I come here every single day to do all of these things, but every time I walk in here, I just want to do things I shouldn't do. Oh, sorry. I was just a bit distracted. Happens much more easily with you around. This might come a bit out of the blue, but would you like to find a section of the library that's a little more private together with me? So that I can give you a bit of a lesson? Well, I was thinking about having a rather private anatomy lesson, if you'd be interested. Well, you are the only available student right now. And I'd need to gauge your interest to know if you'll really pay attention during the lesson. And a part of that is to simply ask. Good. Well, come along. Let's find one of those private studying rooms, shall we? Those seem perfect for a little lesson. There we are. Just go sit right there on the table. I won't need anything for this lesson other than what's already present in this very room. Because usually, visual examples work wonderfully when teaching. Yes, visual examples work wonderfully when teaching. I want you to look at me. From low to high. Starting at these high heels, black and elegant. Not the most comfortable for dancing, but alluring and high. The type of shoes you'd choose if you knew you'd be taking them off soon. They keep my heels high, adding a few inches to my height, letting me tower over you just a bit. They cause my calves to be tensed a bit, which you can clearly see when I just stretch my leg out of the slit in my long black dress. It's all right. I want you to look at me. I want you to look at me so you can learn. So you can learn. From feet to ankle to calf to shin. Up to my thighs. The slit doesn't reach all the way up my thigh, but being able to see so much, being able to see so much of it, does give an extra sense of attraction, of comfort, a sense of being close and trusting in a way. Then, with a closed dress up to the hips, female pelvic bones are wider than male ones, allowing their bodies to resist their biological function better. But it also seems to, over time, have become a trait that determines how attractive a female body is to men. On an average level, so to speak. Of course, some men take preference in certain things. Perhaps you personally prefer the chest area, or hands, or someplace else, or even, God forbid, personality. In either case, we'll be moving on. At the sides of my body, you can quite obviously see my hands and arms. Fingers, interestingly enough, do not have muscles in them. Only bones, tendons, and joints. The precision and grip strength they give, even though they have no muscles within them, is sometimes astonishing, even to me. My arms personally are long and slender, but they're stronger than they look. Oftentimes, muscle size doesn't tell you much about how strong someone is. At certain points, muscles grow in mass rather than size, which is somewhat inconsistent with the idea of powerful figures with abs of steel and huge biceps. True strength doesn't always show itself easily. It's a good thing to remember in all areas of life. But let's get back to the lesson, shall we? Starting at the back of my dress, just above my hips, the black fabric gives way for a thin, see-through fabric with a pattern of black flower shapes spread across it, moving up at both sides of my body. splitting up so that my back is still fully covered. The flowers move in slowly towards my navel, then back out, and then stopped at the circular collar of the dress, just at the border between the fabric and my bare skin. There's a part of both of my collarbones visible. Do you see them? This one over here, I broke it when I was young. It's a long story, but my older sister caused it, which eventually caused me to get into ice skating. Figure skating, specifically. That's why my arms are stronger than they look, and my legs are so powerful. It's a hobby of mine, where I regularly take the lead when I'm the more experienced skater, holding my partners in the air, helping them during jumps. It's a position of power, but also of responsibility. It helps me focus. It helps me figure out what I want in life. Now, slowly let your eyes travel up my neck, past my chin. Not all men can see the difference between natural skin and thinly applied makeup, but most men can tell if a woman has lipstick on. So I think you'll notice that my lips being so red is very much intentional. Now, just up a little more until our eyes meet. Poets, writers, psychologists, they all agree. Eye contact is something very special. They call it the windows of the soul, or an important way to communicate non-verbally. Seeing someone's eyes, really looking at them from up close, it's not something we do on a regular basis, even with those we trust. I came to you tonight, my lovely librarian. I came to you during this gala because I'd expected you to be here. There's a dozen or two students out there waiting to greet me, looking for me. But I'm here with you because I want to be. Because this handsome presence is right here, and he makes me feel like such a dangerous woman that could just take a bite out of you and never give it back. It makes me want to do so many things. Oh, my dear, my cute, my handsome, my lovely librarian. I've read the things you read. I've read the things you read. I know your heart's wish. So be swept off your feet by a woman who knows how to take control. And I can give that to you. All that and more. And I will give you anything and everything. But right now, we don't have much time. We have to make it quick so we can get back to the students and watch them all graduate together. I would love to express my dear appreciation to Echo. This is the first script I've commissioned from Echo. I've had this Professor Librarian bonding over books and anatomy lesson brewing on the back seat for a while now. And I'm very grateful to Echo for helping me bring it to life. And I hope that you so enjoyed this too. Thank you for listening.